Hey everybody, how you doing out there? Let's see. Got Jeffrey out there, got Michael, got Courtney at Wide Family. Hey, so we're starting off here a little slow, but hey, what the heck? It's Tuesday.
Yes. And it's 1 year, and I got the cake.
Yeah, the yeah, things were a little hectic around here the last 3.5 hours. My wife had given my daughter some art paint, some powdered paint, about a 2-cup jar or container of it or something, and she had put it in one of those totes that also had the kids' Play-Doh and some other kids' toys in it and crafting stuff. And the middle boy, Aiden, who's the one that can break into anything, and he was actually opening up the doors and stuff, but that's another thing, got into it and opened the jar up, and his older brother, who has autism, likes to throw powders around outside. When you're outside playing in dirt, he picks up dirt and he starts throwing it this way and now. Well, he started throwing that all over the living room. Reddish pink paint, powder paint. Yeah, so it's been the last 3.5 hours of cleanup. Fortunately, a lot of it went on a area carpet they had underneath the dining room table there, and so we got the stuff cleaned up, and we just kind of folded it up, took it outside, shook it, and I spent an hour and a half with a jet nozzle on it, trying to wash all the powder out of it. And my daughter's been down there for the last hour and a half, maybe 2 hours now, with the Bissell trying to clean the carpet. They're on their third or fourth laundry load because everything, they had a little play area downstairs. It wasn't really play area, but it had the crib. It had some blankets on the floor inside of it. It had child fencing around it, keep his brothers out so the newborn can be in there. And well, I still went and wiped the top of that fence, and it had the pink paint on it. So, and everything got pulled out of there and is going through the wash. Their clothes are going through the wash because they had to pick up and carry the boys into the shower, put in the shower, and the water, and there's just red stuff running down there. And it's been a mess for.
Are you sure your kids are not Hindu? You know they have a festival where they throw color paint powders all over the place.
No, this was something that was not supposed to. And I asked my daughter, it's like, do you have any more powdered paint? Yeah. No, it's going in the trash. Because this stuff is so fine. I tried to use the regular vacuum to vacuum it up, and it started because the vacuum, it's one of those turbo ones and stuff, so it uses different force to keep any dust from coming back out again. Well, guess what was coming back out?
The paint.
The paint powder. I go, oh no! Oh. So I pulled out my shop vac, my big, huge 7-gallon shop vac with the. I have some HEPA bags in there for I was vacuuming up concrete dust. So I put one of those in there and started using it and vacuumed them as best I could, and it still wasn't pulling it all out because hey, they have water. They have the water sippy cups, a lot smaller than this one, but the same type of top on it. So when they turn it, they can dump water out. So there's spots of water everywhere all the time, especially since Danny likes to go and spit it back out again. So there's areas there where the paint was, instantly attracted, attaching, it's turning to liquid. And so, but anyways.
Don't let him fool you, folks. He was actually cleaning up all the blood from his latest massacre.
Yeah, I invited Hillary over. I wish.
Now.
That would be a good thing for the country. I might even confess to that one. Of course, it have to be a triple hitter. It have to be her, Pelosi, and Feinstein.
Right.
You forgot to show her.
Schumer? No, I just backed the truck over him by accident.
Well, let me say hello to Mary Beth and Tim, came aboard, and Jeffrey.
And Kaylin.
Yep.
Kaylin came in here as well.
Yeah, we were talking about you earlier, Kaylin. Were your ears burning? We were talking about the fact that you could name that pudding bread that he made that I can't remember the name of. Because
And
it's the same thing that they put in the MREs over in Britain.
It's themed.
Yeah.
I'm not back. I'm a figment of your imagination. If you think you see me, you need medical attention immediately.
So tonight is like 1 year anniversary. So while I'm doing this, let's see, I got that other one up there still. Yes, I do. So I'm going to put this one back up here real quick, and I am going to go
Just going here
and
for answers there, Al.
Yep.
ginger
Actually,
pudding.
yeah, it is a pudding, but this one's a pumpkin pudding because it has chunks of pumpkin or hard shell squash. See it?
Mhm. Come
And you
on.
steam it in like a little linen bag. But I know how to do it with a big linen bag, so I can make cupcake versions of it.
Mm.
See how
And
nice that
that's
came
running
out?
slow. Yep.
It raised up and everything. When I put it in, was kind of like flat.
Okay, so I'm bringing up my analytics so I can give anniversary numbers here. Okay, so oh great, it's not doing that. Usually when I move my the thing over here, it's giving me this estimated. Before it used to say, like exactly what it was like what the hours were. So I got 5,400 watch hours. I got 36,500 views. I got 928 subscribers. So I'm just 72 away from being monetized. My top videos in the last 48 hours, I had 307 hits on my mixing concrete, 7,010 pounds of concrete with the Harbor Freight mixer, which
If you
has,
put Harbor Freight in there, it'd go up.
oh yeah, totally since that came out in October, it's had 10,000 hits on it. But yeah, so, and my lamp oils is number 2, and the how to make 55-gallon half barrel raised planter beds is catching up quick. So yeah,
I don't even know what mine are. And it looked in like 3 months.
But what I do have to show you guys as well, let me switch things out so I can go ahead and close that out. And I don't need this one here up anymore, so I can drop that down. So when I bought the place here, there we go. We bought this place semi-sight unseen. Our real estate agent had we'd been dealing with her for about 6 months, made several trips up here on different things, had other real estate agents that she said, hey, don't accept any offers till these guys get up here. They're going to be looking at it. They got California money. And the one I came up specifically for, which she always sends us pictures. I went up to look at it. We looked at it. Oh yeah, it's really, really great. Was talking with my wife over the phone. She had to stay in California. We were going to offer 10,000 over what the asking was. She called the guys. It was, told them, hey, don't accept anything for noon. So we limped through the place, looked at it, called them at 11:30. Oh yeah, we accepted an offer 2 hours ago for 10,000 less than the asking price. But anyways, so later on, she said, hey, this one's coming. It's not even on the market yet. It's not going to be on the market for 7 days. I found out about it because it's right across the street where I grew up. And so this is the upstairs of the house. In fact, the room in the back there where the blue is, that's the room I'm in right now. That window is that way to me. And where's the thing? So these are the photos she sent us.
The thing is in the swamp.
And so there's the kitchen.
Nice.
And the puny bathroom. It's got a little sink, the toilet, and then the bathtub is right next to it here. So there's the bathtub.
Bathroom's small. You got to walk outside just to change your mind.
This wasn't one of the pictures. This one got in there before my wife was doing something. But this was the outside, one of the outside pictures they sent us. And this is the living room. And right in front of this bookcase is where the dining room table was, and that carpet I was talking about earlier. And this all area over here is all pinkish floor now.
Cool.
Now,
you can't play.
let's say hello.
And
let's
this
say
is,
hello to Mama Z and Cecilia, and I think somebody named Patty or Pamela.
let's see here. I see, who did I miss up here? Jim, okay, no, all right. So, yeah, hey guys. So this here is the master bedroom, which my daughter and her husband are in. And this was the first picture the real estate agents sent to us as she pulled up to the property.
You see, that right there in and of itself would have sold me the property. 2-car garage, I'm on it.
And it has a shop behind it.
Mm-hmm.
That got me.
Yeah. Now, since then, this little piece of gravel here, I've dug out over on the right here, back close to the trees. I dug out all the way over here toward next to the air conditioning unit, comes back along, and this first big lilac here on the left has been dug out. It's now a 3-lane driveway with weed blocker down and gravel. So my truck parks over here, and they can come in there. When my wife comes up separately, she parks over here in front of my truck, and we can all move around. Everybody can get in and out, move around, and you're not blocked by having 1 lane wide on it. Okay, and
that's big enough for me to pull a semi into.
Oh yeah, hey, well, put it this way: I backed a 28-foot travel trailer in and around this corner here, and it's sitting there right next to the lilac. So yeah, and and with it sitting there, I've backed my 12-foot trailer, 12-foot long trailer. It's a 6-foot bed with the wheels on the outside of it, so it's actually more like 8.5 feet wide around in there, one single shot, all the time. So that's some of what it. That's a video. I mean, the pictures we got, and we told her, yes, we think we want it. Can you get a couple more pictures? So let me take that one out, and let's see if I can find some of the other pictures here she sent here. I'm looking here. I got don't have them all up here. There another one, other spots, but one of the pictures I had here. Where was the basement? Shoot. There we go. Okay, so let's see what comes up here.
Yeah, good evening, P2E.
This here was one of the pictures from the basement, of the water flooding. And look at all, this is all those water soaking through the walls here.
I just like that old-fashioned ice freezer you got sitting right there.
Yeah. Well, it's now been moved into the what was the coal bunker, and it has a couple little 7-watt lights in there to keep it warm and dry, and it's full of pews and seeds. And let's see, that was one. Yeah, that was one of the other pictures she sent. That's the plug for the ceiling fan.
Never enough. We're looking at his house just before he officially took ownership of it. Hello, Steve.
Yeah, and so she walked around, took some pictures of the electrical going out to the garage, and some of the how the electrical outside was. And I fixed a bunch of this already, and the gap in the front, from what they call the facade foundation wall, because it's actually be right behind it, has a about a foot on the other side of it is the basement wall, which supports everything. And you see all the water in here. What that water was from, the irrigation canal ran along the east side of the house about 50 feet away, and then along the south side about 50 feet away. The ground a foot below the basement here is gravel. Guess where the water from the irrigation ditch was going to? That's been fixed. It was dry for the last year and a half since I finished doing it. And that's the garage. And
I hope you fixed the flooring of the garage floor.
Not yet. No. What happened to it? Did I miss it? Did I go too fast?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did. Let me go back farther. Okay. What happened is when they built this, there's no wire in it, no rebar in it. There's no outside footing on it. It's a flat slab. And on the outside here, the dirt slopes immediately away. And actually, the dirt has sloped away and washed off from the splash off the rain, has undermined a little bit. So it's tipping a little bit. But it's now, I got other pictures. No, I don't have pictures of that yet. I've been piling up all that dirt from I was moving around with the Bobcat. So it goes out flat 4 feet, 5 feet away from the edge. And I've been packing it in there so I can get some, bring a pumper truck in and pump mortar in and lift it back up. And it will work because we've actually lifted a street by accident doing that.
Oops.
This is the shop where I've done some of my videos for my like the alternate oil for the lamps and the fire starters. You know, that's the door I was filming again.
Charles and I could put a nice racetrack in there.
Oh yeah, you can do. I can put a lot of nice stuff in there. And so it does have a tankless water heater, which we liked.
Yep. But
the thing is, it drained down into here. Let's see if I can find the going through some other pictures here on it. There was another picture of the inside that she sent. Antenna, got rid of that one that had blown down. Yeah, this is where the rain would drip and get a lot of water coming into the house. That's now I got cement pad on it.
Does that spigot work?
Yes, yeah, that was a hydrant. Of course, it's been pulled out, and a better, newer one's been installed through the wall. So this is some of the other pictures she sent of the bedrooms. Yeah, and this was going through the master bedroom closet to provide the power for the electric range, which is no longer electric; it's now gas. And the wiring is gone.
Yay!
And it does, the double windows down there for that. Okay, let me see. I need to go the other way. That's some of the moisture. Let's go back to where I first had that one. Okay, so we're going to go backwards the other way. So this is the access down to the basement if it comes up. That's my daughter going down to look at it. They came over and met her and did a walkthrough with her.
Good Lord.
Okay, now they had clothesline hanging up and down there with clothespins. This is the PEX plumbing, which I've straightened a bunch of that out, and some of this was dead ending. I've removed all that. Got it looking nice.
First.
Yeah. So I fixed a lot of that.
What were they thinking of, Gil, when they did all that?
Does the term redneck, hillbilly, Mickey Mouse, jury rigging, skinflint mean anything to you? That was the old man that owned the property, and he'd passed away and left it to his son. His son lived down in Salt Lake, was renting it out to his nephew. The nephew wasn't taking care of the property. All people were complaining about it, and he decided to get rid of it. That's why I was able to pick it up for $130,000. But you can see the white stuff for all the moisture was coming in from around. And some of the lovely wiring they had down in the basement.
Good Lord.
Yes.
This passed the inspection.
Barely.
I was gonna say.
Because they give them like an envelope.
It had the as is on it. But that's the old that was the old orchard. Most of the trees out here were had fungus in them bad and
Yeah.
blight and other stuff. And all but 2 of them have been pulled out. Another one's going to be coming out. This big one here died a couple years ago. And during the one video when I was putting in the irrigation ditch and stuff, I'd cut it all off. And so I dug right around it.
Cool.
And that's the tree stump I ripped out with the Bobcat excavator.
Hi, Bull Healer.
That's the one big tree in the front. So, and that's what it looks like in the wintertime.
No, that looks nice and peaceful.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to do the cleanup work.
This is in the attic looking back into the orange carpet room upstairs, which is the room no, that way to me, right over here. And I didn't take these pictures. They were taking them, trying to take them with stuff, but the white, it has the pin and tubing wiring here tied into the some Romex and stuff. So yeah, I'm working on replacing all this stuff. Some of it I can replace, some I can't. Like I say, see, there's your pin and tubing, wiring, and
we're thinking about it.
And yeah, they when they left box springs up there, TVs up there. I've put these to use down in the cargo container, and in the garage.
Well, the racks are good. I don't know what the rest of the stuff is. Is that a washing machine?
This here is a big old-fashioned TV.
See the screen?
Big old. No, it's screen's in there. I mean, it's big old tube in there. Mm-hmm. This is from the 50s.
That's 60s. A Zenith, isn't it?
I'm not sure. And they're my daughter and her son for their first winter here. And my wife was trying to drive without chains when I was she took my truck up there. Yeah. So there's the bathroom again. That's the orange carpet. Okay, that's all of it. I always have some pictures elsewhere on it though. But so those were some of the pictures and stuff I got. I had not been up here when all those pictures were taken. I had not seen it. We had already, with the pictures that were sent originally. My wife said yes, we're going to put an offer on it. She drove up, met in October. Went around with the inspector. She said, yeah, my husband take care of that. My husband can take care of that. And so we bought it. And about 2 hours after all the paperwork was done on it, it went live. They forgot to pull it off the MLS system, so it went live. Someone called up and offered $20,000 over for it. And they go, someone already got it. We've already signed.
That's kind of what happened to me up in Michigan. Right next to the house next to my pastor, the gentleman passed away, and they put it on the market for $40,000. I came back down here to take care of some business I had to take care of in Ohio. I was going to go back up there as soon as I got my settlement check from disability. I was going to go up there and make a down payment on it, and the trip gave me, mind you, less than 30 minutes. I left Michigan 30 minutes down the road. From the time it hit the market, it was sold.
Yeah,
I can't describe it because I ain't got no pictures of it, but let's just put it this way. It's right off a river and it's peaceful.
Yeah.
The neighbors are all of like mind. But
now, I don't know what happened to them. I can't find them. We bought it in 2016. I know my wife took some more pictures, but I can't find them. But in 2017, I came up. And so let's see. And my mother-in-law came up with us, and it's much clearer on the other screen than what's showing out here to you guys. Sorry, it's a lot lighter on the other screen. And so now with them in there, it's the kid, everything's filling up with their crap, and so just pictures around of different things and stuff, everything going on. I still had the electric oven in there. I hadn't fixed that yet. That area there, let me go back. This area here is now what I did in concrete. So there's less stuff coming underneath. Oh, that's been fixed. The lake at the end of the driveway has been filled in with some good road-based rock.
Oh, come on. Place for the kids to go play.
This pine tree here, which was forcing on the foundation, is gone. In fact, this I cut it off about here, and when I had the excavator this year, I went over and I yanked it out, and that was on that big bonfire video I had a couple last month. Okay. Back up too fast here. This is looking eastward. That's the this here is lilac, and with a lot of briar rose in it. And so this is looking around the. Come on, not double click. This is the big tree, and if you look at the video where I put the kids' play area, this is the tree that has the new swing under it. All this lilac and briar rose off to the side here is gone, and that's where the garden shed is sitting and the water play station for the kids now.
I see something about that tree that you've missed.
With the swing that's already in it?
No. The ability to being the way it's grown. A great tree for it.
Oh yeah. My wife and I were up in it last summer. We were both up in there with chainsaws, cleaning it out, trimming off the outside edges and stuff, cleaning it out and stuff, because we know in about 10 years there's going to be a tree fort being built in it.
Yep.
And so, that's interesting. This tree here, now between the time this photo was taken and 2 years ago, the magpies built a huge old nest up in there. Stupid magpies.
That'd probably be fun when they start crying and eating. What
you can't see up here is a big old huge honeycomb. Or not honeycomb, paper wasp nest. It looks like honeycomb. Yeah, big old huge monster one. Ah, there we go. There's a better view of it.
How did you get rid of it?
Very simple. I went upstairs. I opened this window. I got the big can that shoots 30 feet of the HydroShock wasp spray. I soaked it with it. Then the next day, I opened the window, stuck a broom up there, and knocked it down. There's my wife, always cleaning up, doing stuff. But this garden shed here has been moved out, and that's out by the kids' play area now.
Cool.
And so that's going to be next year. This is going to be. I'm going to put some corrugated, clear corrugated vinyl corrugated roofing for walls across here, and a door in there, and that's going to be a greenhouse.
Oh, cool.
So
double wall, right?
Won't need to, because I have I've put a gas line out there, and there's going to be a heater in there.
Oh, cool.
The one, in fact, it's the heater that Reed at Manifestations Imagination recommended. So, okay, so this window here is this window here, looking down at the out there. And so there's that TV. My wife cleaning up as we're trying to get stuff done here. There's some more of the fine pin and tube wiring. This goes down over the bathroom. No, that goes down over the master bedroom. Yeah, different pictures. Some not coming out too good. Camera wouldn't focus. So we got stuff out of the way and the camera focused. Yeah. There's a photo of my wife with long hair. She cut it off last year.
Yeah,
donated all the hair.
we can really see.
Uh, anyway, so this is looking out my bedroom window right here, out over the property, and that's looking out the window on the other side.
We did get rid of those bushes, right?
All right. This tree and this tree here have been thinned down. The big tree on the other side is gone. The lilac has been pruned back a little bit. It's going to get pruned back a bunch more. This lilac has been pruned a little bit. It's going to get pruned a bunch more. This briar rose is gone. Now, briar rose, the Disney Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, no, so Sleeping Beauty. They called her Briar Rose, and then the rose thorns that popped up around the evil stepmother's step queen's castle was Briar Rose. I don't know why they called her Briar Rose, but because that thorns were it is the devil's rose. It is the nastiest stuff there is.
It's great if you want home security.
Yeah, and don't mind it taking over the thing. Well, I'm just showing what it would look like before I got it, and we're covering what I've done to the property. Like this here is the irrigation ditch. It's now been filled in and taken care of. So what we're doing with the property, my daughter out here, when I filled this in, we're lining it out. She's got her garden out here and chicken shed and everything. She's going to build a house out here, a half acre here.
Is it going to be a 3-bedroom?
I think they're going to do a 4-bedroom and a basement. Tell them they need to do a basement. That way they put a couple more bedrooms down there and break up the boys to their own separate rooms.
Now, are you going to have trouble with the water table again?
No, because this here is all in pipe now. This irrigation ditch, it goes across the field this way, and it's all in pipe. And this part's gone, but yeah. My cargo containers are sitting here right now. So this piece of garbage here was out there. This was a little watering trough that was out there.
For what?
Horses. It's broken down. It had a float in there, and it floated up, and the water would fill up and flow over into the actual where they drank from and stuff. This thing here had a slab. I had a 5 yards of concrete under it. I don't know what the guy was thinking when he poured it. It was ugly. See, the horses would drink from the water there. Like I said, he Mickey Mouse stuff and he got crap. This was a shed he had on a place. It's gone. Okay, so that's that one. So that was that one there. Let me go back one. And then I came up 6 months later. Oh, and this is when I let's see here. We'll get it here. So this I was working in here. Come on, let's go. So I was you had the D5 dozer delivered. And what you can't see here, right here, this little shiny spot here, used to be a berm. It took me 2 months with the coyote to dig that out. Over here, I dug it out back to here with a coyote. All these other ones out here is berms all the way out there. And it was, it would have taken me 10 years with the coyote to dig them all out. One day they were gone with that dozer.
Mm-hmm.
All this whole field, all the berms. You can see where I was digging back here, and I stopped right there. But yeah, so I just started pushing the berms, and I started pushing the dirt up, and I got my stakes out here. That's where the new ditch. I put in an irrigation ditch, and we'll see. I'm just picturing from inside where I'm pushing the dirt up. So that was that one. But that was in October of 2018. 18 that I did all the dirt work with the dozer. So the 21st, some more dozer work here. These basically, I had these pictures because I was emailing back to my wife, and so the first part of the ditch up here, I've already got pipe, and I put pipe in there, and I pushed the dirt up over it. Pushed the dirt up, made a nice high. So this here, when I dug a trench through it, was above the water level. And this had a nice slope on it, unlike the slope they had for the ditch over there, which was so straight. We had to use a handheld weed eater to get it.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So here's where I put the pipe in. The pipe ended here, and the ditch turned. Well, the next spring, I dug it out all the way out, and after it sat all winter, and ran the ditch by hand, open ditch out here to this area here and down there. It's all now underground in pipe, which I just did this. Last month. You can see the video.
It's a great video, folks. Gotta check it out.
Yeah, putting it in. But I just leveled this all out, got rid of all those nasty berms.
It'd make a great RC track too.
Oh. Hey, the neighbors are asking me, can we ride our ATVs out there? So I pushed it all up and did that on it. And so that's what that's what's been going on. This is happened in 2018. That's just some pictures of all right. Yeah. This was the breaker for the garage on the left.
Grief.
It leaked. They did not put any sealant where the pipe went through the ceiling.
What the hell?
No gasket, no nothing. And the lugs in here were so corroded, I couldn't open them up. And so basically I, said, screw this. This is a fire danger. I put in a new breaker box.
Good.
Yeah. And yeah, so and that's the room I'm in right now back there. But back here. Yeah, so that was 2018. Oh, I do have some 2017 here.
Cool.
We saw.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, we saw some of those before. Let me go back. Did I do all those or? This is the main wire. I mean, this is and now I know why the guy got rid of it at 130,000. This is the main wiring breaker panel. Paper wasp up there above it.
Yeah, it looks like the paper wasp and mice have had a field day.
Yeah. This type of breaker box has not been allowed to be installed in Idaho for 15 years. Now they can't make it take it out, and the air ducting is held up by baling wire. And then back here, it's sitting on a piece of lava rock back there. You can barely see it. And then it turns and goes underneath there to get a little bit better view of it there. And it goes underneath. This is the old foundation before they did one of the add-ons to the house. And this is how they supported. They had chunks of the basalt lava rock, and they put 2x4s on top of it to brace it up. And this is the water going out to that hose bib that was outside the the yard, the water hydrant. And they had wiring running right next to the sewer line for the electrical dryer, which is now gas. Yeah, nothing leaked around here.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So yeah, there's one of the snowstorms up there that I got hit with. And looking back up in here, these are 2x6 boards, and so right here the dirt is within 3 inches of it.
Moisture.
Back there, it's touching. It's piled up above it back there.
Yeah, it's a good way to get moisture and have your floorboards rot out.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of and this was the entrance to the coal bunker. It was only this big here. I blew it out so we could actually walk into it. And then I moved this ice chest into there, and that's where I was doing my my greenhouse in this last winter. Yeah. And this is another one that another part of the room in the basement we're going to store. The water was flooding this room 3 inches and rotting out the stuff. But so we got one of the things we got to do in here. I started tearing out the wall. They had fiberglass insulation in here, and the mold had gone up 3 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So we're, tearing that out. And that's behind, this here is behind here. And what this is this is the basalt foundation, and they dug it flush down. And so the only thing that's really supporting it is where the boards are going across the, see, there's all dirt here. It's all caved in out from underneath it. So, yeah. So it's really,
back, so.
the only thing it's really supporting is where the boards are sitting on top of the cinder block. So that's what the basement looks like. And the basement I've made major improvements to the basement in supporting it. Where this thing is holding up this, a simple 2x8, there's now 4 2x8s bolted together up there with, a post on this end and one on the other end. So it is held up and it is going nowhere now than this cheap little Mickey Mouse crap he did. But
that's what happens when you visit Disney one too many times.
oh yeah, that was that one. And then a month later I went back up, and we're gonna we'll show the grandkids at this time. So this is Eli, the one that has autism. And this is Aiden, the troublemaker now. Eli, okay. When in the video I did a couple weeks ago with the Bobcat excavator, I pulled out a big chunk of the lilac. It was dead. That's this stuff here that's kind of dead in here. This dead stuff. And the trunk, like I said, the trunk on that lilac was like 8 inches.
Nice.
But I couldn't get it. The coyote backhoe wouldn't touch it because it was so stout. And actually, it's been taken back here and dug out because I drive the tractor down in there. You saw some of the snow videos. Then here I put in a new breaker box in the basement and ran a main line over to it, so I had less stuff out in that other one out there. See, now the ice chest is in the bunker, and I had back up, and I've tied off a new gas line coming off of it over to the laundry room to the gas dryer. So I'm fixing stuff up. I got put in several gas things. This goes over to the
manifestation of imagination.
Hey, Reed.
Hi, Reed.
So this line here goes over to the kitchen stove. I got this one here. Goes over and goes out to the shop and garage. This one here is set up to go over so I can run out and put a gas barbecue out on the side of the house.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so I just got the valves with a cap on it, and I'll just tie it off and tie onto it when I actually go over to do it. This is what some of the wiring that was down there. This is gone. I've replaced wiring, but and they had this against the cinder block, which was getting water damage to it. So yeah. So I've been there's that breaker. There's that box we were just looking at there. But I fixed a lot of stuff up down here. Done a lot of repairs. And let's go ahead. It's because you look at what the water damage was doing to that cinder block, just eating it away. Look at that stuff. So it's no longer down there. This is one of the apple trees that is still around. That we did a lot of pruning to try to save it because it hadn't been pruned in 5 or 6 years. This one here is one of the other ones we're trying to save, but it's got a lot of fungus and stuff on it, and all the most of the new growth this year has shriveled. So I'm gonna probably have to take it down when my wife comes up next month. These trees here all went by the wayside because we tried saving them, but the fungus was in them. This was an apricot that the fungus was in so bad, it leafed out 1 year, and the next year it was dead. This is the one I bumped with the landscape rake, and it broke off. This tree here, this year. So it's like Wow. Okay. And some work done on the lilac to get out into that orchard area. There's the trailer. I backed it around, turned it around, and then backed it back out this way again. You know, when I first backed it in, I thought I was going to be going one way. I decided I had to have it the other way. But
Reed's in the backstage. And I'm having technical problems on my side.
oh, there we go. Hey, Reed.
Hi, Reed.
Hey guys,
Okay.
I figured I better join since it's the 1 year anniversary for sure.
Yeah. Now, just now, Reed's in here. If Anthony was here too, that okay. Because my first live stream I was on was not mine. It was one of Will's, Just in Time Prepping. Uncle Al was on it. Anthony was on it, and I think you were on it too, Reed.
Very possible.
This was back in October last year.
Yep.
It was when I first started getting onto live streams, and Will invited me up, so I came up on it. But
yeah, I think we've all been on each other's channels at some point.
yeah. Yeah. Hey, Reed, when are you going to do a live stream and have us all on it?
Well, I tried doing one, and the internet uplink was kind of really bad. So
Yeah.
I got new equipment to be able to encode it at a much more efficient rate, but I just haven't set it up. I need to get my rear end in gear and try it and see if I can get it to function.
Now, I heard something that Uncle also one that told me about Elon Musk's and his all his satellites going up.
Yeah, they're still they haven't put them all up. They're working on it.
Yeah. Well, you know, when that goes up, I think that'll put Sparkplug out of business.
You know, it would be nice. It would be nice, especially if they can charge as little as they're claiming they're going to be able to charge.
Yeah.
But satellite internet does usually have a high latency, so I'm really interested to see how well it works or how well it doesn't work.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but really interested. You know, that would be really nice because it's really annoying that the way they grant monopolies on the telecoms, man, they just abuse the community so bad all the time.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is there's like how many satellites supposed to be up there in low Earth orbit?
Yeah.
5,000?
Whatever. It's going to be a lot.
Yeah,
But,
having one of those fail to stay in orbit and crash into my house.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually like 30,000 satellites in orbit around the U.S. right now. I mean, around the world. There's a lot.
There's a place in California, one of the Air Force bases up there, that their primary objective up there now, they don't have very many planes there at all, but they track all the space, all the satellites, and all the nuts and bolts and broken pieces and every other piece of junk floating around up there.
Yep. There's actually one on White Sands Missile Range that does some of that stuff too.
Yeah.
But they're actually more interested in near-Earth objects, like little pieces of meteorites and stuff. And it's not like they're worried about them coming in and hitting the Earth. They're actually worried about them hitting satellites, the space station and stuff. They're trying to use telescopes out there to track them.
Yeah. So what I have here, guys, for that trailer I had in the last picture, this is a temporary power and water hookup.
So it's permanent.
Huh?
Well, there's nothing more permanent than a temporary solution.
Well, I've got the new one. I got the new one put installed. I just haven't poured the concrete pad for it to move it over to where the new one is. But this will stay up for anybody that comes to visit, so they can have some water, and they just have to go somewhere else to dump their
black water
holding tank. But the city guy said, "Hey, just because right on the other, about 15 feet on the other side, not even 15, about 10 feet on the other side of this hedge, is a sewer manhole." He goes, "Just dig yourself a trench across here, punch a hole in there, and we'll mortar it all up and we'll put it in." It's like, this is the city guy telling me to do this.
You know, it's really, I love that about a lot of the small towns is your city guys are very easygoing and it's really easy to get a work order done and stuff. Can you imagine doing something like that in New Jersey? They freaking throw you in a hole and toss the key away.
Right, or Detroit.
California, up in the Bay Area.
Oh God.
Yeah, you have anybody that thinks they have a government job thinks it's their business. Yeah.
That's the problem. Too many chiefs and no little Indians.
Yeah.
Right. It's one little Indian with a hoe trying to dig everything out, and you have 14 guys pointing the wrong direction.
And this is part of the hookup on the other side, where I just come off the hose bib and I just temporarily run water out there to it. This is only about 8 inches deep, so every winter I just blow it clear and don't have to worry about it. But I do have the little white cable here. That's internet. It's internet out there to it.
So you've been mostly happy with your new property, huh, Gil?
Oh, I'm getting more happier with the more stuff I get done.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where I started taking out some of that, the devil's rose,
right,
briar rose bushes, and started. I had to chop back some of the lilac to get in here, but this all right here, see all the flowers on it? That's briar rose, and this here is all briar rose. It's ugly, thorny, weedy. I chopped a little walkway to go through there at first.
It makes a great barbed wire fence too.
Oh yeah, it does.
Hey, Butch.
Except goats will eat it. Goats will eat it. Hey, Butch.
Oh, do you have some goats now, Gil?
No, not yet. Not yet. That's in the plans. Either goats or some sheep. So, but yeah, I started chopping out some of the lilac and the briar rose. But then we went to town on this stuff. You can see how big it was here. These marks here on the side. That's where it was blowing in the wind against the side of the garage. So we already had chopped some of it down. My son came out here and helped me do this one. But this thing here was all briar rose across the side here.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and there was a little tree in there that was had another one of those. Whoop! Hit the wrong button there.
Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, I gotta get it back open. There we go. I double clicked twice on it. That was. Let's see. I think that was 14. Yeah, that was 14. So let me go back one. And so 2 days later, this is what, come on. There we go. We dug out from underneath the house, ran a conduit over to the garage so we could redo the power for the garage properly.
Isn't it amazing how bad the wiring is in most places you get?
Yeah.
Oh God.
This is my son at this time this was 18, so he was 17 and a half when he came up here to help me out. And there's the new breaker box going in the garage on the one part.
Square D.
Yeah. Here we go. This is what happened because of the irrigation ditch 50 feet away from the house. This is supposed to be a drain. Well, when there was water in the irrigation ditch in the summertime, the water percolated up into the house.
Built a percolator. Just add coffee.
Now, not only did it percolate there, but it started coming through the base of the wall over here as well.
So what are you doing to fix it, Gil?
It's fixed.
Oh, it's fixed.
The irrigation, when I did my videos last month, earlier this month, when I had the excavator and I dug out the thing and I laid all that big black pipe.
Oh, okay.
All in pipe. There's no water getting near the house, and for the last year and a half, it's been dry down there.
Oh, good.
I just think because last summer I had an open ditch from the corner I showed earlier, where I laid pipe out towards the big tree out in back, and there was open ditch from there on. So the part of the open ditch was like 75 feet away from the house. So we really didn't get any percolation in because it used to go up the east side of the house and across the south side of the house, 50 feet away from the house. So now it's way away, and it's all.
Well, now that you got the concrete all and the cinder block all dried out, have you thought about putting on a sealant to help steal out the moisture?
Well, what I was thinking about doing was I've started digging out behind it, and in some of it, well, there's a briar rose all gone. In some of the areas I can get to, I've dug down 4 feet already,
Okay.
where the dirt was touching the floorboards. I've dug down in the one area, got another area, and once I get most of it lowered down where I can get in there and work, I'm going to dig about 18 inches behind to some of the cinder block walls that I can get to from the basement area, and dig down below it, and then I'll seal the back side of it with.
Use one of those rubberized ones.
Actually, I was going to use the bitch mold. It's called bitch mold, asphalt emulsion, and put that on there, and that'll last for 20, 30 years. And by then, we'll probably go ahead and just tear the whole house down, because that gives my daughter time to build her new house. And we'll just tear it down and start over, dig out a big basement, start over, and probably either my youngest or my middle son will stay in there. But yeah, we got several plans going, and they're all. There's the one tunnel I got it finally cleaned up a little bit later, so we can get in and out. This was where the irrigation ditch was going on the south side of the house. I could barely go across here with the walk behind Cub Cadet string trimmer. And to get this down here, I had to push it over the edge and pull it back. Push it over the edge and pull it back. That's how it doesn't show how steep this is. You cannot, you don't walk up this steepness. It's steep. I started working on it, and there's, we wound up digging all this out, got rid of all the briar rose there. And see how it's undermined the garage. Back in the very beginning, Uncle Oz told me, said, I hope you had fixed the floor of the garage. Well, this is why the floor of the garage was all cracked, because, and this is not level with it. This is at about this much of an angle going up to it. So yeah, he did not do the dirt pad right, and they didn't put a foundation footing on there. It's just a slab for the garage.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, yeah.
Time for backfill.
Yeah. So, anyways, I've now backfilled up above the concrete, up to within an inch above the concrete, and I'm compacting it, and it's about 5 foot wide now. So that's been going on there. And then a couple weeks later, what I get here, these are just some other shots I took to send to my wife of how I've started cleaning up the fence line and stuff. This is all briar rose here. It's all gone. She had me burn it out. Some of the areas I've been going back here, cleaning out the stuff, and the this was out the back side. This is the south side of the house where that irrigation ditch was on the other side. Cleaned out all these thorny briar rose. This is the back side of the shop where you guys have those 6 IBC tote raised planter beds. Well, this comes out here, and this briar rose here is all gone too. We burnt that to the ground.
Oh, good.
And out here in the field, out here, getting it all cleaned up, and I'll have gravel out here. This fence and stuff has all been cleaned up. My daughter took down this old broken down shed that was falling down. Back a little bit farther, there's that briar rose from the orchard that we took out. This is on the east side of the house. This is the ditch down here. The lilac was grown over so much you couldn't see the ditch. This is where the cows have been walking and drinking out of the ditch. But
how many cows you got, or is it neighbors?
It was all right. The old man had died. His son inherited it. His son didn't want the property, was renting it out, and for about 5 years, his nephew was living here. Well, across the street down there, our neighbor Brandon was leasing it to put cows out there because it was just growing up. Because basically, there was 11 irrigation gates flooding 3.5 acres of the property. And so the grass was growing up and stuff. And the cows would just be out there eating and drinking. This is looking from the other direction. This is the fence at the property line by the street, looking back, and there's the ditch along here. You see how bad the growth got there. And that one back there was a lilac with a lot of briar rose in it. It got burnt and dug out. And this is the orchard up front. It's been cleaned up a little bit better. This fence is gone, and I now can mow out there. But go back one. That was that one. So I covered.
Imagine doing all this stuff by hand with no tools to help you.
Oh yeah, I know. It's yeah. They would have had mules and ox and plows and stuff, but
it's kind of amazing when you think about those colonists. They just loaded up in boats, or people in other, like in Asia, where they just where tribes would head out in a pasture and just go and find a spot. Well, this is flat enough to farm, and just get to work. Yeah. Amazing.
Well, that's Aiden in February last year, so he's 2 1/4 at that point. And we got snow in February, and so this, I was measuring the snow. So you got 3 inches to there, and you got another 3 inches on the tape. So that's 6 inches of snow.
Oh, you poor
thing. A little bit farther over, I got 8 inches of snow. So I got Eli, Aiden, and Danny, and my daughter Megan. And that's Imperious. And this is how thick the ice got off this next to the back door.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
That so north facing or south facing or
west? This is the west side of the house.
West side, okay.
Yeah, so it would come over and it would off the house and run. Yeah. So this is all turned into ice sheets.
Oh boy.
Fun.
And those are some of the irrigation gates I dug out. And there's the Democrat in the background there.
Yep, that's it.
And so more of these irrigation pipes. There's the big one I dug out. That one I kept, and I used that for the outgoing. They had the law on irrigation ditches. Your outflow must be the same size or bigger than the inflow. My inflow is 15 inches. The old man Criddle had a 12-inch outflow. So it was backing up 3 inches worth. And so he was getting more water for his field than he was supposed to get. He was the second to the last one on line. The last guy on the line had an 8-inch pipe going to his. And Daryl says, I just need just a little bit of water, a couple hours once a week for flood to his. There's Eli.
Hey, Jerry's.
Hey, Jerry. And so I started working down in the basement to try to alleviate some of the problem down there. And so I chipped out a bunch of the cinder block. I run my conduit in from that's where the conduit went from the garage. I started digging out in here. And back here at the back, this piece of air conditioning duct, the dirt goes up 3 inches past the bottom of it.
Oh God.
Yeah. Over here, there's an old barrel here, but over here, it's actually, you'll see here in a second here. Well, there's where it came through from the garage. I dug some of it out. You can see, you barely see, I can't see it. It's too dark. There's only like a half an inch there. And so I was taking the dirt and I was filling out some of the low spots outside, showing my wife what I was doing with it, because this was area around the shop was flooding. So I filled it in. But back up in there. Okay, so back up in here. Okay, so some of these yeah. So I'm digging it. Trying to get some. I duplicated some of these, but that's how I was hauling it out of the basement. Yeah, yeah, a lot of bucket work.
Yep.
Yeah, I hate it when you're faced with some of those really bad jobs like that, where there is no other way to solve this problem.
Yeah. So
look like a scene out of Stalag 13, Hogan's
Yep.
Heroes.
Yeah, or stall like 17,
Oh,
13. Okay, come on, let's go. Open up.
come on. There you go. Come on.
Okay, so I got a light up in here. If you can see how close the dirt is to that floor joist, you're talking half an inch.
God.
And on this side here, the ridge, when he dug the basement, the dirt level originally was down low like this. He threw all this dirt up in there when he dug the part of the basement because the basement was dug after the house was built.
Serious?
Serious. So they're throwing some, and this is some of the basalt rock that's deteriorating.
Mm.
But there's that ditch up there. I've already raked some of the dirt away from it, and that's the air conditioning duct. And so this is looking behind where I started digging out around on the one side, and this is where
this thing, Gil?
This place was built in the original part of it was moved on site in 1903.
Oh wow! Okay.
And this part under right here is the latest addition to it. But this conduit here is what's going out to the garage, and so I had a lot of water coming in here. But look how high that dirt is. Dirt was up against the floor joist.
It's amazing how the ground just kind of rises in places.
No, this dirt was thrown up in there because I talked to one of the neighbors, Daryl. He helped him dig it. He goes, "Oh yeah, he was just tossing it up under as fast as he could, so he didn't have to haul it all out." And that's the water leaking through around some of the. This is a chunk of basalt rock, and this is concrete they poured part of the foundation. And you can see the moisture coming through it. But I see I've dug it out a little bit deeper now. I'm digging it back, and I'll get that off of there.
Great place for a hidden doorway.
Yeah.
Oh, any bodies?
It'll have a doorway on it. No bodies, but I found burn piles of other stuff, broken glass, and other things like that. So this is 3 days later. I have fixed the floor. That where the thing wasn't a floor. I jackhammered it out, took out the little piece of drain, dug down through the clay that was there, a foot and a half to the gravel riverbed stuff, and dropped in some broken cinder blocks in there and put the gravel on there. And I've had no water come up out of it since then. And this PVC pipe is from the AC unit. That's the water, drip off line, which I'm still going to work and work a little bit better on. And I started doing some work over that side there too. But yeah, you'll love this. So these rocks here, chunks of basalt, and they put 2x4s on it to support the 2x6s under the master bedroom.
Okay.
Can everybody sing with me? M-I-C-K-E-Y.
What's the wiring?
This is some of the new wiring, temporary wire I ran in to get the new breaker boxes. I got to pull that old breaker box off put it on the front of the house when I get him to bring in an underground line to the house.
Okay, is that a phone line in the back of the?
This okay?
Yeah.
No, all right. This one here is a green. Is the green coated, cloth coated Romex wire going over to the kitchen sink for the power to the dishwasher and the garbage disposal.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not. This is some of the old. This was some of the wiring going over for the electric range in the kitchen. And see, they had nails holding it up. Yeah, that wire's now gone, and so is that wire there. It's all now in better stuff. And this is looking out toward. This goes over. This is the sewer pipe from the kitchen sink over in there, and you can see here from here up, all that is loose powder or dirt he threw up in there, and I'd already raked a bunch of it out of there. But yeah, and this is I stuck my head in there, and I looked to the one direction, And you can see with this here where they cut off and dug it out and put the cinder block in, so it was supported by a cinder block. So they just never took these boards down. Looking straight back and a little close up over there under the kitchen sink. You can see how much from here. This is about a foot that I scraped out of loose stuff they tossed up there. And that's all been replaced, and it's all done in nice new PEX and ABS drain pipe, sewer pipe. And this is look at all the crap he just tossed up under there.
What is it?
Boards and just broken boards and felt paper and some other stuff. But you can see here the water is flooding in here off the east side of the house because he had no gutters over there, and the wall was here. The ground was like this to the foundation, so it pooled on the outside and came under. Yeah, that's all been fixed. I did move the water softener down to the basement, so because the water softener upstairs was broken, I have a big mineral filter on here for sand and gravel and stuff that might come through, and then it goes over and so the water softener is only for the hot water heater. So if you're taking a shower, you're mixing soft water with regular water, and you get you can still get clean. You don't have to rinse off for 10 minutes to get the shampoo out of your hair.
I hate that. I really hate that.
That I know. That's why I put the cold water for the house is not softened, only the hot water to protect the hot water heater.
Right, and that's it.
So when the dishwasher runs on hot water, the washing machine, when you run it on warm, you got softened water and unsoftened water. So it's not super soft, but it's not hard anymore. It's kind of in between. And we're no longer having to use 2 rinse cycles to get the soap out of the clothes.
Right. That's a tankless boiler, right?
Yes.
Good.
And so I'm back to the beginning. Oh, there's the hoe I was using to clean. See all the stuff? There was actually, before they put this part of the addition on, they used to burn their trash right next to the house.
I was wondering where all those chicken bones came from.
And so yeah, this is all some of the the cinders and stuff I break down out of there. Okay, I'm back to the beginning on that one. So that was I was going up there in 2017, 18, and even 19 for a week or two, for a weekend or for a week using my vacation time. Come on, open up. And so, like, I go up there for a week here, and then the next month I go up for a week. Next month I go up for a week, or I go for 2. I went for 2 weeks that month. Come on, open up. There we go. Now, some of these are duplicated because I was reducing them in size to send them to my wife, so I'll try not to do it. And so this here is just added 2 2x8s was the main support. Well, it's now 4 2x8s. Bolted together, not just sitting up there loose. So, oh, that's how they had the light wired.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I've been fixing it, replacing the stuff.
They didn't have anything bolted on those things?
They had some screws holding this 4x4 to it. And so this is some of the wooden stuff I've been pulling out of this hole here. See now you see up here where the rust line was, that's where the dirt was. The dirt was up here on these boards here. And when I was raking, all of a sudden I hit this piece of pipe here. What the heck? And that's an abandoned piece of pipe. It used to be for a hose bib outside. And so now I've dug this out a lot. This is 4 foot wide and 4.5 feet deep.
Yep, perfect.
And I dug it all out by hand. And it's even deeper now. But and all that, dug it out, and all that dirt went outside. I had to move the electrical. to get to work here. All the dirt up on this side here where it was leaking in. I put a pile of dirt up there and it worked. It stopped a lot of the water from coming under just by piling dirt at sloping a slope away from the foundation. So that worked good for a little bit around the back, same way. Papa Delta came in, I see.
Yep.
Sue's here.
Sue Nelson. Yep.
Hi,
There it is. Hey, Sue. And so I've been dumping a lot of dirt out and around because this was on next to the kitchen. That's the vent from the tankless water heater. But this was low where the water would pool here. So now it slopes away and there's underneath the house, it's dry there. Even though there's no concrete, there's just dirt piled up there, kept it. Okay, so I've gone through it all that one. And this is what I did out there. So this is the first, so I'd run the pipe up to this point here. The first year I put the pipe in, the first spring, and the ditch turned here and ran back down here towards the bottom left of the corner. That's where it ran along the south side of the house. Well, this year I dug out, I added 30 more feet going this way. I used these to build my, let's see if I can get into this. Yeah, I ran this is where water, I ran it out to here. So back there's that hole I just showed. And then I continued this ditch in the open on around where I pushed it up with the dozer earlier that I showed. And so it wound up, that's the end up with the pipe, the pry bar is here. And I finished digging it out and dug it down there open for that year. And then this year, this spring, I dug it all out with the excavator and continued the 15-inch pipe all the way over to the end of the property. There I am with Danny. Yeah. Okay.
That was a year ago?
That was yeah, that was March. Yeah, April 4th last year.
Yeah.
And so this is the ditch. This is working on the ditch here. So every other photo I'm gonna have to skip over. So I started pouring the concrete here.
Ooh, stick with it.
So this is reduced so I could send it to my wife. And there I am with a coyote. So I've already dug all that out with this little tractor. So this goes out, and this gets out to about 4.5, 5 feet deep out here. And when I went through there with the excavator, I took it down to about 6 feet by the time I got to the corner back there. So because with the little coyote, I didn't have enough way to do an actual 90 point, so I did a 45 and a 45 corner there to get it to go around. Even there, it goes back up, and there's the ditch going up towards the there. I replaced Daryl's 8-inch gate with a 12-inch gate. He was very happy because he can easily pull that up and get all the water he wants now from his side of the fence. And so there's like brought it up here. So Daryl's gate's just to the right here. And there's where it was the 12-inch that was going out of the property. I dug that out, and there's the 8-inch and 12-inch I dug out, and then I got the 30-inch over here yet. No, the big 30-inch one I put in there, so it's so I have absolutely no backup on my side to overflow any of my stuff. And what do I got? Oh, I got, all right, we'll see, kids. Grandsons, here we go. There's Aiden in his favorite spot under the table. That one didn't focus. There we go. And he's playing with his cars and a ballpoint pen. That kid, there's a ballpoint pen in the house. He'll find it and he'll carry it around with him. Some of my daughter's original apple trees that got moved because when I dug that out and I started backfilling the ditch that was over here on this side of the property, I had to slope it out because I did not want to have a steep bank there again. So those trees got moved, and there's Snow and the coyote. And
Poor
there's
thing,
that.
Sharon.
Buy that, yo?
Huh?
Did you buy that coyote?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You like
The coyote is actually, it's pretty good for what I'm doing here. For a lot of what I'm doing, I'm finding out that the heavy work, it's not built for heavy work. It's built for maintenance, not construction. But it did a pretty good job. Like this is where I had those two pieces of pipe. I poured the cement. Well, now I built the box up around it. There you go. And this stupid cat kept on climbing down through the pipe all winter long. Because this is the one direction is only 30 feet, and you can see the opening on the other end.
Yeah, cats get into everything. They will find any place to go explore.
Yeah. So my daughter got one of those plastic Rubbermaid garden sheds, and then they put up a little fencing around it for their chicken shed and put wiring over the top of it. So that's their chicken shed. And I'm starting to I laid some drain pipe in here. This gate here, this 30-inch gate, is the one I put in over on the far side over here. And then this all got backfilled. You see how steep this is here?
Yep.
Yeah, you can't walk up and down that. You slide down it. So these two trees here got taken out because I basically tapered it out here, and I pulled those trees out so I could actually mow the weeds with the tractor. Yeah.
Oh boy.
That was their Dukes of Hazzard practice ramp. Why'd you destroy it?
More snow. Aiden eating his favorite fruit, an apple.
Yeah.
There is Danny.
You got any granddaughters yet?
Huh?
Any granddaughters yet?
Nope. And there won't be from him. They got 4 boys, and finally talked them into
snip.
Yeah. Now from the corner house over
That's
here,
a wild house.
yeah. From here over here is now I've put concrete in here. You can see how wet and muddy it got here. So I now got concrete in there. I pulled all the rock out last summer and put concrete in here. Worked great this last winter. Okay, and so that was that. Yeah, that was that. The next day, so I've got this out now. I pulled this out. It was down. It was so I pulled it out and I put it over on the other side over there. That's where it was at, and you can see behind it there where the mice and stuff had tunneled, and then the water had flooded their tunnels out and washed out behind it. So the gate wasn't doing any good, anyways. Mm-hmm. So I ran from here, I ran the pipe down, and we'll see here all the way down there. I backfilled all this later. This is where that where I pulled that. No, this is the other side. Again, I put on the other side so we get by there. And here's where that 30-inch was. It got filled in a rock, so we have a walkway going out there now. And so this is where the irrigation ditch used to be out by her garden shed. It's starting to be filled. I'm starting to fill it in, bury it in, right up in there so I can get over it. All with the coyote. I'm starting to dig this down and break up this stuff so I can actually get in here to backfill it.
Night, Mary Beth.
All right, Mary Beth, take it easy.
Have a good night.
Yeah. And so that little coyote got abused and worked. What the heck was that? Oh, back in the beginning, I showed you the, don't worry, look on Kyle. I'm going to enlarge it here in a second. I showed you a funky horse trough thing.
Right.
Okay. Let's enlarge this. The little horse trough was up in the top of this. So this much of it was sticking up above ground. And so there's that part of that float thing. All this big massive concrete was underground. So I had to dig a big hole and just push it over to get it below downward, because they're going to be, this is what, or the driveway is going to be. So it doesn't matter. Nothing's going to be growing there. So we just dug it over, pushed it down, and backfilled it. But yeah, it's like, I don't know what the guy was thinking. It's like, dude.
Who said he was?
Yeah, you're right. So
oh, it's good. Let's put it here. Splat.
Yeah. So this is where the irrigation ditch was, where I had that black pipe running there. So a roll of it down there, and I buried one of the IBC totes out down there for a pump station, so I could pump out to water their garden from. So that big old berm was been knocked down. It's been leveled because it was high on both sides. So I leveled it out. This is where I made that walkway going across. I scraped it off here and filled the ditch in. And there I'm going around the corner to it.
Okay, guys, I got to go. My power level is getting weird. So
Okay.
night, folks. Night, Reed. Night, everybody.
Night, Al. Thanks for coming by and sharing this with me. So I backfilled all this up here, and then I backfilled that up over there the next day. Oh, I got my cargo container. Ooh, my first cargo container. Put out weed blocker. Actually, when I had the cargo container, I didn't put any weed. None of this was out here yet. And the morning glory grew up through the floor of the cargo container. So my son Matthew and I, we jacked that sucker up using CERT training, blocked it up 2 feet in the air, reach under a hose, hoed it all out, laid filter fabric under it, and rocked it and lowered it back down onto the filter fabric and rock, and then added this one here off to the side so I could park the tractor and my bug out trailer. That is my bug out trailer. All it goes on the back of the truck, and all the supplies and food and stuff, not all, but a bunch goes in there. Okay, there's a closer view, zoom in on it, and pulling out more of these stupid irrigation gates. There were a total of 11 of these stupid suckers. There's a 12th one, which was illegally put in off of another ditch that the city guy buried both ends of it. With the back, came with the back one, just buried both ends of it, and told him not to dig it back out because he was pulling off a different ditch that he had no right to pull off of. What do we got here?
Rugrats.
Yeah. Eli, Aiden and Eli, and they still love this little farmhouse because it makes all sorts of noises, moos, oinks, bass, and everything else, and plays music. So there's the N9 1939 Ford tractor, and I put the drag box from the Coyote on it. And there's the that one tank I was burying that had the 4-inch water line coming in on this side here to it. And so basically this pipe comes off the valve on the bottom of it, and I got a pump I set up on top here. I just pump up on that, and I can pump 2-inch thing. So everything's all backfilled now, and I'm going to be digging out these 2 trees here and grading it over, making it smooth here in a little bit.
So just think, in the future, like 40 years from now, someone's going to be digging up and going, "What was this guild guy doing? This is crazy. What is this?"
Well, because in 40 years from now, my daughter will still be living here, and my 2 sons will still be living here. And yeah, so Briar Rose popping up again. I hate that stuff.
Anti-personnel device.
Yeah. So so I cut some of the berm down to backfill it with, and I got to slope this out here, and that's it for that one. And so that was another couple days there I did. So this is now we're a couple days later, and what do I got here? I just got one picture that's duplicated. Oh, this is where I first ran the first one from, coming off the my inlet pipe is here, where I put the first year I ran the 15-inch here. This whole thing was briar, rose, and lilac. So I dug down 3 feet, digging out all the briar rose root here.
Well, you think
so far, knock on wood, it hasn't come back. But I dug it all out, and as I was putting the dirt back in, I was spraying it with ground clear. So, yeah, so that's that one. And so this is a couple days later. And what do we got going here? This is, this was to show my wife the trees, how hard the wind was blowing, just trying to get a still shot of the trees. I'm starting to finish out the last bit of the irrigation ditch over by where my daughter's garden is. They now have a big garden here. So pushing that in. That's if you saw my garden update, this is where all those rows of corn is. The 30 rows of corn is out here, and I got all the stakes for the trees out there now.
Oh, good.
So I got,
Where's the potatoes? It's Idaho. Huh? Where's the potatoes? It's Idaho.
Potatoes are dirt cheap. I mean, they're cheaper than cheap. I ain't gonna put the effort into growing them. Too many people around me are growing them and giving them away. So hey, now when I got this has 3 holes, adjustment holes for the rippers. With the Coyote, it's a 24 horsepower Coyote with just 2 of these down at the bottom. It would stop the Coyote when I was out in the field trying to pull. The Coyote is 4-wheel drive hydrostatic. This is a 1939 N9 Ford tractor with a 28 horsepower motor on it and a real good transmission gearing. I put all 5 of these rippers down all the way into the ground, and it hauls butt. That tells you what direct drive gearing can do. And what old school can do.
Mm-hmm. Ford,
first on race day.
Yep.
And I had to add an inline fuel filter to get the crud out of that old, the rest was causing problems in it. Got a couple free blue spruce seedlings from Home Depot. The state of Idaho was given away. Unfortunately, when I went home for a month, somebody forgot to water them. Oops. Yeah. So I'm hoping that the state of Idaho hasn't been giving them out this year, and so I may contact the Forestry Service directly. What do I got going? Oh, this is out front. This is the neighbor Brandon across the street. Where this board here is, that's where the center of the pipe is coming in. I've dug back out some of the stuff here, but the main thing I was doing here, that one's kind of blurry, digging a hole here, digging out some more of those irrigation ditches that I just gates. There's one here, one over here that I just buried because I didn't have time to dig them out. So yeah, here's the other one. So I took the last 2 of them out there that day. Leveled off my gate, where my gate for this pasture came in. It was a drop in, and so I built this dirt up here several times here. So this is about a 2-foot increase of dirt here, and 1 foot from this point out to the street, feathered out that I did there. So those are the 2 holes. Started moving dirt around, leveling it. It's much nicer to drive on. I actually brush hogged in the video that we'll be putting out tomorrow. I've been doing the editing on it tonight. I actually was able to brush hog this whole area instead of having to use that walk behind string trimmer to do it. So that was really cool. And ingenuity, I pulled a reed. So basically what I did is I needed to have what's called a drag harrow. And I took 4 railroad ties. When it was upside down, you can see some of the fencing I put on there. I put 2 pieces of fencing on it going back. So it's 5 foot by 8 foot fence set up here. No, 10 by 8 foot on it with the fencing. And then I put old snow chains that were partially broken on there, and some big old transport chains, and had them loop around like this. And we'll see another picture of it here. You can see the chains, how they loop around. They got the snow chain in here and stuff. and I'd drag around and it would break up as when I ripped up with the N9 with the rippers, I get chunks of this old prairie sod stuff in there, and this would beat it to death. And when I got all the dirt off of it, it would naturally just roll off of it and leave a big pile. I'd scoop it up with the coyote and go put it in the compost pile. But left it nice and smooth after the rippers go through there. Look at that, nice and smooth. And that's where the water started coming in after I finished digging the ditch. This was the end of the pipe. Then I dug out for last year. That's how full the water filled up in it. And now, because it was so free flowing going out of the property into the neighbors, he did something to it and it's backed it up. So now the water is sitting at the top of the pipe here, which is fine with me. It's all nice and good. I can pump out of there, but the water flows pretty good through there. And Aiden doing his second favorite thing, cuddling up in a blanket and trying to look cute. And Danny with his red dot. Eli refusing to look at the camera. Oh, there you look at the camera.
Get that out of my face.
Yeah, actually, he's trying to study. He has his new glasses and stuff, but he at this time he was refusing to wear them. And he'll get up. And I'm gonna have the camera now. He'll get in the camera. He'll go like into camera as he I forget what that's called when they tactate on it or whatever, and he'll just stare at the camera that way. So, come on. Overhead view of the property as it was.
I've seen that once or twice.
Yeah. This was the first. The first spring, my daughter and son-in-law planted corn here, and that's what that was. So this was the first spring. There. That overhead photo. Okay, so here we have. So this is where the irrigation ditch used to go, right along here, and you see it's all nice and smoothed out and level, and you can, mow with a walk behind mower or the brush hog or whatever.
You guys want to try anything else besides corn for grain, Gil?
Later on in the other big field where I just did the brush hogging, I got sorghum. I got 5 pounds of sorghum seed to try out there.
Yeah, that's on my list too. I'm going to plant a little patch in just a little bit to see what happens.
Yeah. I also have, I've been doing another experiment. Yes, I'm experimenting. I'm a mad scientist. I bought a couple 1-pound bags of Great Northern beans, navy beans, and pinto beans. And I'm getting them to sprout in the basement. And I got like 30 now kidney beans that have sprouted. Because my daughter already had a bag of kidney beans here. And so I'm going to be planting those around. And then I also got Kentucky blue pole beans, which I've planted already out in the garden update. I showed it.
Good.
I don't know if you had the garden update or not. I've already planted it right after I filmed it. But where I got the corn in the 55-gallon barrel halves, in the middle of each barrel that has corn in it, I have one of those planted. And then planting some out by the one fence on the north side of the property as well.
You got any sunflowers going too?
Yes.
Oh,
on that north fence of the old orchard there, between where I got some of my experimental corn that I was starting early down in the basement, I have a row of sunflowers. I'm going all the way across that section, and then up against the fence is the Kentucky pole beans I'm putting out there.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is all corn now, and this was my son-in-law's cornfield last year, and it froze. He planted it out there the end of April, and
we got a hard frost.
We got a hard freeze in. No, he planted. I guess he planted it in the second week of May, and the second week of June we got a hard freeze.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Hey,
wow.
This a couple weeks ago, oh no, a week ago, we had a frost, hard frost.
Wow. See,
So
if I can actually get my timing right, I could do 3 plantings of corn because I have a ridiculously long grow season here.
yeah.
But I seem to never have enough free time.
Yeah. Yeah, the difference between, you got the ridiculous long grow season. I got the ridiculous amount of free water.
Yep.
Now, if we could just combine the dang two.
Exactly.
I know.
So this is my landscape
Well,
rake, or it's also called a rock rake, and this works great for leveling stuff out too. And there's the angle plow, and so right now, right where I'm drawing my little square here, there's the garden shed has been moved out here, and I got fencing coming across there to here and around here for the kids' play area. And so, yeah, you can see this here was absolutely butt ugly when I bought the property. As far as all those berms and stuff, you couldn't mow out there, you couldn't do crap out there. And now it's getting nice and smooth where I can actually, I'm going to be getting my neighbor's bottom plow out here again. We're going to bottom plow the area, run the drag harrow over it, and then I'm going to seed the sorghum out there, and then I'm also going to put several long rows of pinto beans in. I got a 25-pound bag of beans to seed out there.
Yeah, beans are lovely plants because they add nitrogen, everything else to you. You know what? Also, you might try is chickpeas. I bet you they would grow well in your area.
Okay. Here's one thing. So far, I've been testing. The soil here is very alkali. I can take some vinegar and pour it there, and it goes like a volcano experiment.
Have you done a pH test to see how far up it is?
I just got the test. I haven't had a chance to go out there. I was going to go out there, and it started raining yesterday.
Yeah, see, I'm in a similar situation. Well, mine's very. I'm at pH 8, and it's
pH 7 is good. pH 14 is what bad. Okay, I was thinking the other way around. So pH 8 isn't that bad.
Yeah. Well, it's just slightly higher, but most plants like a 6.5 to 6. Well, except blueberries, they want it like 4.5 to 5. But hey,
Howie came in, said goodbye. Bye, Howie.
Bye, Howie.
You missed Scott coming in.
Hey, Scott. Hey. So here is for Scott. There we go. I'll be out there, so Scott can come join us if he wants. And just, but said this is all I'm going to try to get most of this along this line right here, heading to the left, which is to the east. Get that all bottom plowed and disc again. And there's Scott. Hey, Scott, my brother from another mother. And so this area out over here is going to get the sorghum and the beans and stuff. You said chickpeas to try planting out here? Is that what you said, Reed?
Yeah.
Okay. So I may try some of that if I can find the seeds and stuff.
Oh, just go to the store, and with the beans, you can find it where they have garbanzo beans, chickpeas as dried ones.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And they'll sprout.
Right.
They don't like it hot, though. They don't like it super hot, and that's where I have trouble getting them to grow out here.
Yeah, so I may have to wait until the end of August to plant them then.
Well, you're going to want to wait till next season then, because these guys, chickpeas take a long time. They're like 115 days.
Yeah. Well, so all I'm interested in is to get greenery up and growing.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with most of the beans and the sorghum out here. Most of it's going to get plowed back under to put stuff into the soil.
Oh, okay.
So you'll be doing it as the cover crop this year. I've finally got it squared away in middle of September to get truckloads of manure brought in too. And what basically we'll do is we'll just pile it up here till I'm ready to plow that stuff under, and then I'll just spread it out over it and plow it, the manure and the growth under. So Scott, this is some of the stuff you're gonna have to do up there in northern Idaho to get a good garden going. But yeah, so that's what I got going.
Well,
there.
actually, my property down below has a what they would consider well, it's actually protected marshland, federally protected marshland. But the marshland at the bottom part of my property is the deepest, richest, black, loamy marsh, mud, and dirt. Oh my gosh! You dig up one shovelful, and there's about 1 million earthworms in it. It is the richest dirt in the world. I think I might have got lucky with my property.
Yeah. Okay. So here we got where I was digging underneath the house there, and I scraped all the dirt down to where it was touching there. Put Aiden up in there and took some pictures of Aiden doing the Great Escape. He's playing Charles Bronson in the Great Escape. Hey, Titan.
I'm calling that slave labor.
Oh, he was having a blast. We had to drag him out of there. He was just having a blast back in there.
Hey, Scott, I came up with your escape vehicle.
What's that?
I said I came up with your escape vehicle. See, I've been playing. I figured, seeing as how the world's going to crap in a handbasket, and seeing as how you're up here, I'll go ahead and show it now. I already showed Gil once, but here's your escape vehicle.
There you go.
Hang on.
There we go.
I
love it.
Protection in the back.
Mad Max all the way.
A little bit of machine gun up front, big old cannon, roll bar all the way around. Just run over everybody.
Yeah, actually, I kind of think that Scott may want, not Scott, Steve may want that.
It may be possible.
Okay, I got some videos here. I'm going to run off on the side. Let me pull this up here so I can see view. Come on, view. I want to see which ones they are, so I know which ones to do. I'm going to do some cutesy ones here, guys. Stuff that never made it onto it. We got a bunch of Gamma Seals, and these were the stickers on the top of the Gamma Seal lids. And he would grab one, take it off. Now it's stuck to his other hand. And so, yes, but when I took them away from him, he wanted them back. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that was that. All right, this part of this made it onto it. So that was Halloween. I don't want to. This is later that night when they were listening to the music and Eli was dancing to it. But now Eli here. This is when I got the new shop vac. As you can see, he's fixating and whatever it's called when they do their fingers for autistics on it. And for a half an hour, he was fixated with that hose. And
take off, guys, and actually make dinner.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for coming in, Reed.
Good no problem. Reed.
See you all around. Bye.
All right. And what's this one here? This is going down for Christmas. Another one for Christmas morning that didn't share. I did a different one. So there's Christmas morning. And then this is after the boys are up coming down. And the boys at Christmas morning last Christmas. So had a little bit of that one. And of course, Santa's elves. So, yeah. So those were the some of the videos that did not make it onto the regular YouTube stuff. But
good stuff. Did you ever think that you were going to have a YouTube channel like this a year ago?
No. And this YouTube channel, you guys can all blame on Daniel and Dutch. Daniel Arms Family Homestead and Dutch at Keeping It Dutch. Yeah. I've been watching them for about 5-6 months and been commenting on there and stuff. And Daniel started telling, I said, I said, hey, I'm up in Idaho, on it, some of the videos and stuff. And he goes, dude, man, do a YouTube channel. Show us what you're doing. And Dutch said, yeah, show us what you're doing. And so that's where I started doing mine.
Very
But,
cool.
and because of that, I also ran into Scott
Yeah.
and Dave. And so,
That's what's
yeah.
wrong with my shoulder. You ran into me. Now I know what the problem is.
And so I started, actually the first video I really watched and was interested in watching was one called How to Dig a Shallow Well.
Huh.
Because I was thinking of putting in a shot, because the water table here is what, 10 feet deep, 20 feet deep, whatever. Yeah. I was thinking of putting a shallow well in here to help irrigate in areas where I couldn't pull water from the irrigation ditch. Huh. And I watched that one, and then I watched another one, and then I saw Red Poppy Ranches putting in his shallow well, his 4 or 5 part series one. And then from him, I picked up, I saw Daniel Arms, one of Daniel Arms's videos. So I started watching him. And from Daniel, I went to Dutch and Hidden Heights. And then I started picking up more ones as they recommended more different ones and stuff. And then I picked up Farm All Fanatic.
Oh yeah, that guy's cool.
When he was doing the Friday Grow in the Friday morning, starting off the Friday Grow session. Yeah. And I wound up with a couple, tagging in a couple others, and then I ran into Scott Will with his Wednesday morning, highlighting channels. And so, and then from there, I wound up, met Dave on one of Will's live streams, and from Keeping It Dutch, I ran into, who was it? Was it Jeremy or Dave? And then picked it, and then North Grid, Chad up there, and then they all said, we're talking about Scott, and I saw you popping up on commenting on theirs, and so I checked yours out and ran into you. So that's been my YouTube journey over the last year. Meeting everybody. I missed our Cabins of Wood going out. I got to catch up here on something here on comments. Yeah. Kathy's here. And then I picked up, ran into Kathy off of
Bashard's?
Maybe on Bashard's. It was one of the homesteading channels back there.
I think I met Kathy off of Bashard's too the first time.
Yeah. And yes, Will, we were talking about you. It was Will's channel, Just in Time Prepping. Everybody check him out. See if I can throw him up. Will was the first one that allowed me to come up on a live stream and introduced me to being on a live stream. So everybody can blame all my live streams on Will.
Oh, you're the reason why? Gee, Will. But we all say that Gil has embraced live streams.
Just a little bit.
Oh yeah, Will told me specifically. He goes, he told me back in December. He says, you've got to start doing live streams. That's the way you're going to get your hours to grow, is do live streams. And right, so, yeah. So yeah, and like Will says, now I'm dangerous. And so Will said, yeah, do 3 or 4 live streams a week. And so in December, I was doing 4 live streams. I had Tactical Tuesday, Thursday morning talk, the Friday night special, and Survival Saturday. And I actually even did Sundays a couple times. And so
out of Sundays.
and then I was earlier in the day on Sundays.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but then when springtime started rolling around, first thing I dropped was Thursday morning, and then I dropped Saturday evening, Survival Saturday. I'm just down to Tactical Tuesday and the Friday night special. So
I think I met almost everybody on Joey from My Slice of Heaven.
mhm.
That's one of my first live streams when the work was really slow down here, and I jumped into that guy and met all kinds of people. I met Broussards, and I met a bunch of other people, and that's how mine started.
I mean, the thing is, my whole YouTube thing started totally just trying to get information.
Yeah.
And let me pull this, put us back up over here so we can see stuff here. Yeah. And
did you guys decide to have a YouTube meetup down there in South Idaho?
yeah, it's going to be August 15th.
Okay.
And
You still want those wooden coaster plaque thingies?
I'll let you know here shortly.
Okay.
Try
and order the wood and everything.
Yeah. I'm going to wait probably until about the end.
Don't wait too long because it takes a while to do all that.
Yeah. Probably give it a couple more weeks here to see what's going on.
The Mod Master.
And then, yeah, there it is. That's it. And yeah, because I mean, I've got several people from Oregon that want to come over to it. Dan Glock and Roll.
Oh yeah.
Glock and Roll. He wants to come over, and someone else now I've been chatting to offline. Yeah. And the North. Kathy, it's North Idaho. They don't like to be referred to as Northern Idaho, but us in Southern Idaho like to be referred to as Southern Idaho. But yeah, the North Idaho meetup is next Saturday.
Yeah, well, I sent the answer to that email. If you want to send it, go ahead and send it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Kathy.
And unfortunately, I will not be able to attend it. My wife is flying up the 25th, and she will have stuff she wants to do here with me. So, and she's flying back the 28th. So she's just coming up on one of those Allegiant super cheap $35 round trip airfares.
Yeah.
So you can't beat that price. So she's coming up, spending a couple days and heading back. So, but yeah, if you anyone around in Eastern Washington, I'm sure are invited to come over to, if you're a YouTube creator, come on over to the Northern Idaho one, North Idaho, or if you're across the border and even in Western Montana, they'd love to have you there. And same thing for down here in the Southern Idaho meet and greet. We've sent out invitations to Acres and Bacon down in Nevada are thinking about coming up to it, and so people from both Washington and Oregon have said they want to come to it.
You see, I see how you West Coast Californians are. You throw all of us East Coasters in the ditch.
Now, if anybody wants to fly in to the Southern Idaho meet and greet on the August 15th, fly into Boise Friday, afternoon, and Mountain Home is only an hour and a half outside of Boise.
Okay, that's how far we are out of Spokane. So
yeah,
good stuff.
So
yeah, I got some good news for ours. We have I just got off I was at the city council meeting in Athol tonight.
Mm-hmm.
By Zoom.
By Zoom.
Yeah. And I wasn't actually physically there, but my image was. And they gave us permission to have a small petting zoo there. So Dave from Imagine Acre Wood's going to bring a baby calf yak and a milking goat for all the kids and, well, heck, even us adults to pet. So that'll be kind of fun. We've got a food truck coming, and it's going to be a fun time, I think. So
yeah.
What do you guys plan on yours? Where are you going to have it, and what are you doing and all that?
Okay, well, where we're having it is going to be in Mountain Home at TJ's, in their conference room. It's at like their overflow conference room, meetup room, whatever it is, off the dining hall. And so we'll be in there in the afternoon, and we're going to set up. I'm bringing all my projectors and sound system and stuff, and we're going to, anybody that brings on either on a thumb drive or on a DVD, an information about their channel and stuff will, show, highlight everybody.
I can't be there personally, so I'll just send you a thumb drive.
And we will, talk about it, because basically it's homesteaders, preppers, and YouTube creators.
Yeah. So hey, on that note,
yes,
I've discovered that there are lots of YouTube channels out there that I was completely unaware of. Just even in North Idaho, but even around you, I'm sure there are creators, guys with channels that you have no idea. The only people that are coming to our channel are homesteaders and off-gridders.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I discovered a real estate agent that has a big channel with like 17,000 subscribers that is always doing stuff about he did a thing today on Athol, of all places. I invited him. There's hunters and fishermen like crazy, and they all have YouTube channels. I haven't even begun to touch that whole genre yet. So I imagine down there where you're at, you've got all kinds of big fishermen and hunters down there.
But I haven't found any. The only channels I found around over here in southeastern Idaho, Red Poppy Ranch, which is 80 miles south of us, and then Broken
Wagon. Yeah.
Is down there.
Well, he's right across the street. He's right across the road from Heath.
Yeah, that's his. He's a relative of Heath's.
Yeah, they're cousins or something. Have you been watching his timber frame workshop?
Yeah, I've been catching it now and then. The one that was down here, I know one of them was down here and moved back east, was Willow Creek. And there's Mama Grows is across the border in Utah.
Yeah.
And then there's two others that are supposed to be around here. I can't remember the names off the top of my head. They don't put out stuff very often. Those are the ones I know about. Trying to get hold of more, find out about more.
Well, triple it, quadruple it. It's just amazing. Yeah. The different genres. I mean, the one little small niche that we're in is small compared to all the other niches. Blows my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at, you were talking about being at the council meeting. I was at our city council meeting last Thursday. Last Thursday. And I was talking to them. And at the end of the meeting, before they dismissed it, I had two questions for the city council. I go, one, does Sparklight have a written agreement with the city to be the only ones in the city? And they go, no. Oh, we used to have something with Cable One. Well, yeah, Sparklight bought out Cable One. Did that transfer over? And they go, we don't recognize it transferring over. And one of the other city council members, Sparklight sucks. They're constantly dropping me. And I told them what happened. What had happened the previous day. They were out for nearly a total time that I knew about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. And the one time was 87 minutes on the one shot. And it was like, and they were saying, oh, no, hey, yeah, we'll look into getting, see if any other cable company wants to come in here. But then I also told them, now, what's going on with because one of the city man, guy, he was there too. And I go, you guys know what's going on with the, possibly may happen this fall. And I got blank stares from everybody but Guy, and he goes, yeah, the second wave. And they looked at him and go, he's right. The red, I said we call it the red dragon, but gave it the real name there, is due to flare. In fact, it's already on a flare up right now in several areas.
We
Wow.
mentioned that back in February and March. If they
Yeah,
were,
and I told them all about that. I said, hey, you want to find all about it? Go check my channel and another channel, Southern Ohio Prepping, and we got all sorts of stuff, all the data on it. And I told them, Dave's retired, and that's what he does. He researches stuff. And Gag goes, yeah, so that's what I've been doing in my evening too. This is going to be a bad fall, and so I offered them to use my YouTube channel to hold their city council meetings, to be able to do it from their houses or whatever, and put it up so anybody can watch them and stuff. And if they want to get two of them together, they can because that's under the limit, 2 or 3 of them together, and set up one camera and stuff, and they would go, oh yeah, and so hopefully they take me up on that offer, and I'll have everybody in the city here will go around and let everybody know, hey, city council meeting is going to be on YouTube. Here's the channel.
Yeah, you know what, I was doing it the Zoom. And after I got done, Olivia's like, "Oh, you should have filmed it." I'm like, "You should have told me." It would have been great content because it was really fun.
You should be able. Zoom is supposed to do similar to StreamYard. It's supposed to record what you do, so you should be able to download your video to your computer, then re-upload it to YouTube. You can do that on StreamYard. Every time you do a live, right now it's recording.
Right.
And he has 7 days to pull that off of StreamYard to his computer so he can re-upload it to another platform if he wishes.
Right. Well, now that's just the paid version of StreamYard, though, right?
Any version of StreamYard.
I saw a little blurb on mine when I started it up that if I wanted to do the DVR record, I had to upgrade.
Huh.
I'll find out next month because I've limited mine back down to basic. Because I'm not.
Well, I want to go check it out.
Yeah,
I'll have to check it out.
But one of the guys at city council goes, well, we can use Zoom and stuff. I go, you know who owns Zoom, don't you? And pulls all sorts of data information off of it.
All the data goes to China.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so it's anyways, so I may or may not be on there.
There they are. Fantastic. Okay, cool.
So you got it.
Past broadcast.
Okay, seeing as how we're talking about other things now.
Okay.
You see this?
Yeah.
Okay. I was sent this little monitor, 10-inch monitor that runs off 12-volt DC power, even though it comes with an AC adapter, and it has an HDMI input.
Cool.
So if you, like Gil, your camera has an HDMI output to go to a monitor. So when you're recording something and you need to be able to see what your camera does and you want to be able to see it close, you can hook it up to this little monitor. So you'll have a 10-inch screen to look at instead of that itty-bitty 2-inch screen where you can't tell if anything's in focus.
Right.
And it's under $100.
Huh.
And so you can plug it into a wall, or you can contact me or somebody like Reed who can tell you how to set it up so you can run it off a 12-volt power supply, like a 12-volt battery.
Mm-hmm.
And RC 12-volt batteries, the old gel cell types, are still dirt cheap. So you can get one of them little batteries to power this for a couple hours.
That's cool.
So you can actually.
Where'd you get that from?
I will send you a link. That way you can post it later in the comments.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's got a great picture. I've already hooked it up to a GoPro. I've hooked it up to my digital cameras.
What GoPro do you have? Is that a 5?
6.
That's a 6?
Yeah.
My son just got the 8. That's the newest one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and he's streaming with it, Bluetooth streaming to his phone or something. I forget what. Oh, wait. I had the 4. I could do Bluetooth hooking up to my phone when I was in my Jeep and I had it outside. So that's been available for a while. But what was the 8?
Yeah. I need to clarify something in the chat here. Guys, let's talk about prepping is actually down by Boise. He's is not. Is he in? I think he's either in Nampa or close to it, which is a suburb of Boise.
I
So
thought Tyler was up by Coeur d'Alene.
I thought he was. And unless he moved again, I thought his grandparents was up there. But the last time I was talking to him, he said he was down at like Nampa.
Huh. Okay.
Or just or like what's the other place? Oh shoot! Hang on, give me a second here. Let me pull up the map real quick. Boise, Boise, Idaho. Yeah, because he was I'm pretty sure Meridian. That's it. I think he was in Meridian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which puts it so here's Boise. Here's Boise. Meridian's right here. And you got Nampa right here. And you got Eagle up here, but and then right up over here is Sand Hollow. Butch.
Right, okay. I just emailed him.
And I know homesteading in Idaho, Audra is in Nampa. And then there's somebody else down around here as well. And then, but there's someone up here by Horseshoe Bend. I can't think of her name. Her I haven't seen any of her videos lately. I gotta go see if I got booted. If I got unsubscribed, if I got unsubscribed from her. But yeah, there are several of them down here. But I think Taylor was down here in Meridian or North Nampa here in this area here. But then Mountain Home is right here for the get together.
Night, Kathy.
And then I am over here.
I put the link to that little monitor in private
You
chat.
you got at least four or five channels down close to you.
Yeah. Okay. Good. It's Amazon. Okay. So let me pull that. And it's a short link. So go back at the comments. So here's the monitor link, guys. Let me put this 12 volt monitor. There we go. And so there we go. 12 volt monitor. And let me do this. Take a look at it here on Amazon. There it is. 10 inches, 90 bucks. Not bad.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to have to add this to the list. Come on. Come on, scroll down. There we go. There we go. Added it. Boom. Cool. Well, that would be I could attach that to the tripod real easy, make that attach, mount it to the tripod, and then I can see exactly what's going on.
Yep. That's the only reason I accepted the offer from the company that did it. I mean, they got car cameras for your car.
Uh-huh.
But I don't have a car, so it's kind of pointless. But when they offered me that, I said, yeah, because I can actually promote that in a way that you wouldn't otherwise think.
Mm-hmm.
So if you scroll down, you might even see my review.
Let's see here.
Because it was just posted like 2 days ago.
Come on. Okay, let me do this. I have to go to this reviews. You gave it 5 stars?
Uh-huh.
73% of the reviews are 5-star. Metabox. Easy to use. All right, there it is. Southern Ohio Prepping. Third one down. Mm-hmm.
Did I miss that up?
Well, cool. Well,
Well, congratulations, Gil, on your 1 year, man. You've come a long ways. You've definitely gotten better in your live streams, and you're getting better every time.
yeah. For some reason I'm stalled out at 128 right now. Not 928. So I need.
We warned you though that there's a couple periods between the 8s and 1,000 that you will stall.
Yeah, I did. Just keep plugging away and keep putting out videos.
But what I notice, I'll go up to subscribers, and then I look at the analytics, and it said I went up I gained 14, but it's not telling me I lost 12.
Right. Well, awesome, man. I am going to bow out for the night.
Yeah, we're done.
Be up early and run a crane. So thank you very much for having me.
All right.
Good to see you again, Dave.
Same.
Have a good night, fellas.
All right. Night. And everyone else. Yep. See you Friday. And everyone else, let me grab something real quick here and make sure. Okay. So we're going to wrap this up here, but for Friday, the Friday night special is going to be, are you thinking about a side hustle? It's like a little side jobs and stuff, ways to make money. I know when I was back in California, 40 years ago, working on a construction company with my brother, we would do side jobs on the weekends, and we made a lot of money doing side jobs. So, but there's also different things, like Scott's wife has a side hustle making masks with a pocketed mask. We put an N95 filter in them. Dave is doing the wood burning thing with his.
Well, I was.
Yeah. So he's got that stuff. So there's our ways to make money, side money. Right now, if you saw my last video on the garden review, all that huge field of corn I'm putting in, my neighbor across the street told me to do that. His kids put in one a quarter that size, and they were just selling off the ears of corn at the farmer's market, and they made $1,000.
Awesome.
So I'm going to be doing that. We're doing the corn there, and then all the beans and stuff I'm going to put in. I may or may not pick beans, or I just may let people come in and pick all the beans they want and have a scale to weigh it out. And okay, there you go. Charging pennies on the dollar for what they buy in the store. So everybody, this wraps it up. I'd like to thank everybody for that came by and said hi. Oh, Just in Time Prepping is tomorrow, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. He's going to be there. Will says he does leather work on the side. So there's all sorts of ways you can make a little extra money to help you get the little extra things you need, especially in the way things are going now. The prices are going up. You need a little extra money to make your dollar go farther. And so with that, I want to tell everybody, stay happy, stay safe, stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next video. Dave, anything you want to tell them?
Nope.
All right. So everybody, take care.